Hey, today I'm talking about Lady Vengeance, Nomadland, and Sinbad and the Seven Seas. There is definitely a theme, but it's hidden. It's a big secret. You have to look at all the layers and stuff in order to figure it out. I definitely didn't just watch three completely random movies. That's totally not what happened. First up is Lady Vengeance. This is a 2005 Korean movie. It is the last of the Vengeance trilogy, to which I have seen neither of the other two, but they're all, just loosely connected. It's directed by the same guy who did The Handmaiden, which I crazy loved last year. That was my second favorite movie. If you don't remember, I watched 285 movies at home last year once quarantine started, and that was my second favorite movie. It's so good. So I did have high hopes going into Lady Vengeance. I didn't think it was going to, reach the exact same heights as The Handmaiden, but it still was pretty dang good. The basic premise is it's about this woman who is out for revenge. And I really don't want to say anything else more about the premise because it's really kind of a mystery. It's a very, very violent mystery, but it's a mystery nonetheless. And I like this movie quite a bit. The acting was great. All the technical stuff was awesome. I really loved how the movie slowly got more and more black and white. It starts off regular color, but by the end of the movie, it's just straight up black and white. Once I kind of noticed it at the midway point, but I didn't fully connect with what was happening until we got near the end, and I'm like, dude, this is just black and white right now. This was not black and white before, and it really did add to the intensity of the ending, because the ending's great. I really, really love the ending. My only issue with the movie is just kind of the beginning. It took me a while to kind of just figure out exactly what was going on, or even exactly what the tone of the movie was, because it almost felt overly dramatic to the point it was supposed to be a comedy, but I was like, this doesn't feel like a comedy, but it kind of feels like they're playing it like a comedy. The end is definitely not a comedy. So I'm still not exactly sure how I was supposed to interpret the beginning of the movie, but yeah, it was really good. I quite enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend this. It's just, very violent and a mystery, and it kind of takes a little bit to get into, but it's worth it. It was a enjoyable experience. The next movie is Nomadland. This movie just came out on streaming, and I've been hyped about this movie for so long because it stars Frances McDormand, and I love her so much. She's so great. The basic premise is that Frances plays a woman who has to live in a van. It's definitely not by choice, and it's just kind of about her hard life that happens because she's living in a van. The movie's essentially Into the Wild meets The Florida Project, but it's not as good as either of those movies. Because there's basically only two actors in the movie, kind of like in The Florida Project. But in The Florida Project, those guys were kind of more just the helping hand, the guiding force, and all of the non-actors kind of playing themselves essentially were the main driving force of the movie. Whereas in this, it definitely focuses way more on Frances, who does a great job. It's just, the story is with everyone else, really. And that's the part that got me emotionally at one point. And I think that's where the really interesting stuff were those real people. Because the movie was just kind of boring. It's really just her meandering around, living a life as essentially a nomad. And honestly, I think it really should have just been a documentary. I think they should have just gone around to different nomad people and just had them kind of just share their stories, and that would have been way more interesting and way less boring. And they still could have showcased so much of the natural beauty of the United States, but I don't know. So yeah, the movie was fine. I was disappointed because I really had hopes, but it was okay. I put it in the liked. It wasn't bad. It just, again, high hopes, didn't meet them. It's okay. And lastly is Sinbad and the Seven Seas. This is a 2005 DreamWorks movie starring Brad Pitt. For some reason, my brother Kyle really, really, really wanted me to watch this movie. He's been hounding on me for a month to watch it, and I finally did. And I don't know why he wanted me to watch this movie. It was fine. It wasn't bad. The premise is it's about this thief guy and a prince, and also a betrothed lady, and they just go on adventures in the Mediterranean, and it's a kid's movie. I don't know. It was fine. The animation was pretty. There's a surprising amount of computer animated characters, and they don't really work too well with the hand-drawn stuff. There's some times where it does work, but it just they just stand out a bit too much. They are supposed to be mythical creatures, so they're supposed to kind of stand out, but they stand out just a little too much for me to kind of, buy it, I guess, even though, it is all animated. Brad Pitt did do a good job. He's kind of just hammering up, having a real fun time. If you're really into like Greek mythology, it's maybe worth a check out, but if you're not, it's fine to just kind of completely skip this. It is what it is. Still have no idea why Kyle wanted me to watch it. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Lady Vengeance sitting at number 21 in the Quite Light. I think it's about middle of Quite Light. And then Nomadland is at number 33 in the Light category. I think it's almost dead center. And then last up is Sinbad and the Seven Seas, and the Legend of the Seven Seas is at 37 in the liked category. That one's right at the bottom of the liked category. And that is out of a total of 54 movies so far this year.